The Four Seasons Hotel here in Washington, D.C. is a five-star piece of luxury. It's owned by one of China's biggest companies, and it's a symbol of China's growing appetite for buying some of the West's most expensive assets. But this global shopping spree has also contributed to a huge debt pile in China. Too much for insurance conglomerate Anbang. Fearing it was on the verge of collapse, China's government took over, and for some, that's a sign of trouble.
Debt levels in China have made many people argue that it's facing an imminent financial crisis.
China's total debt is now around 260% of economic output. That's way beyond the numbers for Eurozone countries that were bankrupted by the global financial crisis. But look beyond that headline figure, and the situation is much more nuanced and particular to China.
Borrowings of households is not particularly a big issue. Local governments have been borrowing a lot, but they had very low debt levels in the past. So even though it's risen, that's not the issue. It's the debt of the firms which really distinguishes China.
China insists it can manage that corporate debt load because it's the ultimate guarantor of the biggest state-owned banks. It's also reining in overstretched companies by supporting a program that exchanges debt for equity. And China isn't alone. Debt is surging across the world. The US government has periodically been forced to shut down. It's happened twice already this year because it hit a debt ceiling that had to be raised before the actual business of running the country could resume. So, with the world's two biggest economies now so heavily in the red, how concerned should we be?
Eventually, at some point in time, if this debt continues to mount, countries start to lose that flexibility. And that's what you saw in Europe with countries like Greece, or in Spain, or during the Asian financial crisis. So it's an issue that warrants monitoring, but it's not reached the stage at which we can see what I would call financial crisis emerging.
10 years after too much debt nearly brought down the entire global financial system, the hope is that this time the numbers aren't too big to fail. Owen, Fairclough, CGTN, Washington.